What's going on, everybody, and welcome to Giacs. Today I'm bringing you another Monster Hunter World video. If you're having trouble fighting Vaal Hazak or want to know more to prepare for the fight, this video is for you. Alright Fivers, let's get started. First I want to talk about Vaal Hazak's weak points. Like pretty much every other monster in the game, one of his weak points is his head. The other two weak points are his chest and tail. Try to remember to focus on one of these points if you can. I know situations during fights are always changing, but try to remember to focus on one of these points. Next, I want to talk about what elements Vaal Hazak is weak against. Your options here will be fire or dragon element. If you don't have access to one of these weapons, your 2-star options will be ice or blast weapons. Now, preparing for Vaal Hazak, I want to start with the skills. The skill that I suggest you focus on is Effluvia Resistance. If you can get this level 3, your fight against Vaal Hazak will be so much easier. You won't have to worry about getting the debuff that reduces your health by a significant amount. If you want to get to level 3 by decorations, you'll need the Miasma decoration. If this is the direction you're going to go, then you will need 3 of these. Another option would be to make the Vaal Hazak Greaves and Waist. The Greaves will give you 2 levels of the Effluvia Resistance and the Waist will max it out. Now, if you don't have access to any of these armors, then you'll need to carry Nullberries with you. As soon as you get the debuff, go ahead and eat a Nullberry to remove it. Once the debuff has been removed, I suggest drinking a potion immediately before re-engaging Vaal Hazak, just to be on the safe side. For weapon choices, I recommend using a weapon with Elder Seal on it. At this point, you should be able to farm Nergigante, so I recommend you start with that weapon. Other weapon options will be pretty much any of the other elders, the Delvajo weapon, and the Dragonbone trees. If you're just starting out in the game, the Dragonbone tree might be the easiest and best option to start with. Vaal Hazak has 2 breath attacks that he does, one where he shoots straight forward and one where he shoots the ground and it expands outwards in a circle. For the breath attack that he shoots straight forward, I recommend running to the right to avoid the attack. He does this in a sweeping motion, and he will start shooting from the left and sweep to the right. I want to make a point that I'm talking about from your character's perspective, not Vaal Hazak's. From Vaal Hazak's perspective, he shoots starting at the right and sweeps left. The second breath attack I want to talk about is the one where he shoots the ground. If you see him stand on his back legs, I recommend moving away from Vaal Hazak. One of 3 things will happen when he stands on his back legs. He will either do nothing, shoot the ground, or completely fall and hit the ground with his whole body. On the last thing, my friends always make fun of Vaal Hazak because he passes out and just lays there. In any case, I recommend moving away from Vaal Hazak when he stands on his back legs in general. Next I want to talk about mounting Vaal Hazak. Vaal Hazak is in the same category as most other monsters in the game. You can avoid his attacks while you are mounted on him by changing position. Remember, if you're using a hammer, greatsword, or hunting horn, you have to hold down triangle on the finishing hit. The last thing I wanted to talk about is strategy for Vaal Hazak. In the room before his bedroom, you'll notice that there are teeth in the ceiling. Remember to use these to drop on his head in order to stun him and cause big damage. When you're going into investigations, this will be the first room you encounter him in. You will want to try and make a point to land both teeth on him, especially if you're doing the 15-minute Vaal Hazak. He has some straightforward attacks and a lot of sweeping attacks, but his attacks don't have a crazy range like Nergigante and Delvajo. Circling Vaal Hazak seems to work pretty well against him. Remember to take 10 Nullberries with you, especially if you don't have the max Effluvia Resistance. Take your time, wait for an opening, and try to focus on weak points. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, get good bro. I know you can't always hit the weak points, so try and get as much damage in as you can. If there are any tips you think the community should know, please let us know in the comments. I am curious myself if there are any other things you can drop on him in the Rotten Vale. Alright Fivers, that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!